Your audience will see it in a moment. Get ready. And we're live.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Oil Drop Podcast. I am James, Paul McCartney on Reddit, and I'm joined by Arun, Lunatic5 on Reddit. Originally, we had planned to have a three-person cast here today. Unfortunately, Adam had to drop out at the last second, so it's just the two of us here today. But we still got a number of topics to cover here, so I'm just going to dive right into it. I'm going to start with Oilers-centered topics. Injury updates with the team. Kassian looks like he's ready to return pretty much now. Davidson is about 1 week away, and Hendricks is probably a couple of weeks away. Yeah. When everyone's healthy again, what do you see happening? And I didn't put this in the submission on Reddit, but Caggiula is actually taking the skate in Edmonton this morning as well.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, yeah, that's actually really impactful because right now, Draisaitl has not looked that great, and he really needs a little help, just taking away the focus from him because, the saving grace on his line should be Lucic, and Lucic has also been arguably our second worst forward. And then, what was it? I think the biggest thing that we need, more than Chris Russell, I would say, and I might be lynched in the audience for saying that, is definitely Davidson. We need Davidson back. We need him badly. Right now, the biggest problem is our first pass is all right, but then we get, right now the strategy against the Oilers is just clog up the neutral ice, and eventually they'll cough up the puck, and then the other team will have either an odd man rush or some sustained pressure, and something will come out of it or nothing will come out of it, but still you force the Oilers' hand and they'll make the mistakes.
Yeah.
That's where a guy like Davidson is so valuable because he's one of those calm under pressure kind of guys, and he'll bounce back from something like that. That's my opinion anyway.
I don't know. The team needs him. That's for damn sure. I don't know. It's like with the hot start and expectations suddenly sky high, they're definitely coming back down to earth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with a fully healthy roster, the depth is there. Players have been out of position and playing up the lineup. That's not an ideal situation. Every team has to, deal with that at some point during the year. But, the Oilers have done pretty well with that so far. And I think that once everyone is back and healthy, I think that they'll be a pretty good team again.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing, though. A huge part about, if you look around the league right now, you'll see a bunch of different teams that have a lot of, some or a lot of key injuries. And it's just... It's a part of playing in the NHL right now. You have to be ready for the injuries, regardless of whether or not it was expected.
Yeah, I think as far as man games lost, I'm not 100% sure where the Oilers are ranking, but they've avoided any major injuries. There's been nothing that's really crippled the team as far as injuries go. So like I said last time, if McDavid or someone like that went down, then we're in trouble. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
With what we've had, it's pretty manageable, honestly.
I would say there's some other key players too. If Larson or what's his name, Clefbaum or Cam Talbot or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, any of them go down for an extended period of time, and we're in trouble.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That one's more impactful than losing someone like a Caggiula or a Davidson. And the only reason that it's acceptable losing a Davidson isn't because losing Davidson, oh, he's a bad player, but it's more along the lines of he is. We still have a Larson and a Clefbaum and a Sakura there in his place.
Yeah, Sakura's had a pretty rough start to the year so far, but yeah, I don't know. That's all I can really say about that.
Yeah, that's completely true. A big part of Russell's thing though was that he needed not Russell, sorry, Sakura's thing though is that he needed Russell. And he doesn't have Russell right now, so it's showing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess going on to the next topic there. I know you mentioned really quickly about us falling back to earth. So the Oilers right now are 9-5-1. We've lost 2 straight. So over the past little while, after a wonderful winning streak, we're a little below 500, if I recall correctly. As a result, you think that our opening streak was simply just luck? Well, advanced statistics did indicate that we would fall back down to earth, and simply put, no goaltenders really sustained such a high save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Is this how far you expected us to fall back down, or do you think we'll fall further?
I think we'll be okay, honestly. I think that as Oilers fans, we're conditioned to assume the worst, and we are conditioned to freak out immediately the second that something goes wrong. I think we have to have a little bit of faith in the team.
Hashtag faith age.
What's that?
Hashtag faith age. That's a meme that you won't get, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we have to have some faith in the team and trust that they will turn it around. Lucic has been pretty quiet the last couple games, to put it charitably.
But yeah, I'll get to Lucic when I get to Lucic.
Yeah, so I think that they'll be okay. Do I think that they're going to be at the pace they were for the first 10 games? No. But I think that by the end of the year, they should be sniffing around a wild card position, I think that they're good enough for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts, spot on. I will talk about Lucic later. That's, in my opinion, a topic for another day. But one thing I did want to point out really quickly is that, I was complaining earlier that we were one of the worst teams in the league for our advanced stats. Like, of course, in our Fenwick, we're bottom 5 in the league. Like, right now, still, it isn't that great, but to give you everyone an idea, like, our Fenwick and our Corsi went from being bottom 5 in the league to just around average. So simply put, even though we ended up, that was after what, our 4th or 5th game we won in a row. So we've gone about over 500 after that, but we still ended up putting up decent possession stats. So that's something that we can take as a little feather in our cap. Hopefully we can carry that forward without too much, along with the winning. I guess that's the key part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one thing that I did want to point out and I found interesting is one of the key people that got injured around that time was Chris Russell, and our possession stats bounced right to like average after losing Chris Russell. So
yeah, I think like we all expected, or we all kind of knew what we were getting with Chris Russell, a shot blocking machine, but shot blocking means that you don't have the puck, and if you don't have the puck, you don't.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you have to look around the league and see who the top shot blockers are in the league, right? Mm-hmm. There's Chris Russell, but then there's guys like, oh my god, I cannot remember for the love of me who the guys are. 1 second. Yes. Sorry about that. Hold on. I will pull up the shot blockers in the league.
Yeah, so he was like an elite guy, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're getting at? Okay.
No. What I'm talking about is that there seems to be a conception that top level and shot blockers is really good. It's an indication that it's like this, and then you have the other school of thought where it's like the top level shot blockers are really bad. It means that they're stuck in their own zone. But to give everyone an idea, like 7th in the league in shot blocking is Erik Karlsson. 8th in the league in shot blocking is Jeff Petrie. Both of them are really good Corsi-wise. Mark Giordano is very good Corsi-wise, and he leads the league right now in shot blocking with 43. That being said, Mark Giordano is not having a good season at the moment, so probably not the best player to go with. But that being said, you go to like 15th, and you have guys like Morgan Riley, Shea Weber, Vatanen. Go to something like 12th, you have Oduya. Go to 19th, you have PK Subban. yes, shot blocking is really nice, but it's not the be-all, end-all for the advanced stats or
No.
success for your team.
No, that's the part about advanced stats that I think a lot of people are having trouble with.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
People, they seem to either put all stock into them or no stock into them at all, and it is shades of gray. I think that the NHL industry and bloggers and media and fans in general are still making the distinction as to what matters, when it matters, and how much it matters. And I think that's going to stay a topic of contention and discussion and disagreement for years. I mean, it's going to be a long time before we can say, shot blocking is this important, for this position. Like, I don't see that ever getting a consensus, really.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. What else was there? Let's look at the next topic then.
Yeah.
Actually, before we go on to the next topic, really quickly, is it fine if we really quickly touched on Lucic at the moment, because that is a contentious topic.
Sure. Yeah.
Go. So, Lucic, fans are turning him ever so slowly into a little bit of a whipping boy, and deservedly so. He has not looked good in these past few games. He started off the season gifted, being on McDavid on the first line, and now he's on the third line with Draisaitl. Still scoring line, but less minutes. He's still being played on the power play, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's still getting some power play time. Yeah.
So why do you think this is? Do you think this is a cause for concern with his contract and the fact that he should be playing his best right now and should be getting worse after that? Or is this something that people have been warning beforehand?
No, I think it's a little column A, a little column B. I mean, people are aware of what Lucic is. The style of game that he plays generally doesn't lend itself to super long careers. Very physical, very tough. But that being said, he is still only 28. Like, the body should not be done yet. He should still have quite a bit of gas left in the tank. Just looking over his advanced stats here a little bit, they're not awful. It looks like the Corsi's still above 50%. It's sitting at about 51.4% right now. So he's treading water that way. I think that when the team just hits a bit of a skid, the natural reaction is to put the lines in a blender. And I don't think that that's really a condemnation or a damnation on Lucic or any one player.
I'll take it as one.
It's what you do. It's a natural reaction, and I think that most coaches would have done the same thing. So I think he'll bounce back. But it's not all Lucic. I'm more concerned about Nuge right now, to be honest, than Lucic.
I didn't think Nugent Hopkins has been playing pretty well. It's just points aren't really coming to him is the problem.
Yeah, that's the main thing, though. I mean,
his defensive game has been pretty spot on. To give everyone an understanding, like, his defensive game is fairly good, and like it's like right now, if you think about it as fans, you look at Connor McDavid and you go, wow, his defensive game is like really good, and then you have to look at like you take that and then you apply it to like sorry, words are just escaping me this morning. Like, you do a comparison between like McDavid and Nugent Hopkins, and Nugent Hopkins is better, right? That's why there's like a strong camp that Nugent Hopkins has, even though his offensive production is nowhere near as high.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating though, because we've like lowered our expectations on Nuge a lot, and I hate being hard on him because he's still a great player, but at the end of the day, he's on a 38-point pace this season. I mean,
I don't see that lasting, because he started the season so cold. But yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I definitely
both the
see him
wishes.
ending the season around 50 to 60 points. But
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely get your point. And it sort of points out the problem with Nugent Hopkins in the past, in that his points per 60. Did I just drop? Hello?
No, I can hear you.
Okay, the stream is just being bad all of a sudden. There we go, the stream jumped forward. Alright. So my problem with the Nugent Hopkins, I think the issue that's coming out is that he put up lots of points in the past before, but one thing that wasn't really caught in the analysis by, I guess, not necessarily your everyday fans, but fans in general, was his points per 60 was actually quite low. Like, it's not that high for him. So when you have him playing less minutes than he has pretty much his entire career outside of probably his first season,
Okay.
it's not, you're going to have less points because he just doesn't put up that many points for the minutes
Yeah.
that he plays.
Okay. No, I hadn't really noticed that. I've never actually looked into that very much.
Yeah,
But
no, I don't think anyone really has. His points per 60 actually puts him around a second line center, which is what he is right now, so that's reasonable. But that being said, considering the pedigree that's around him, it is a little disconcerting.
yeah, the pedigree that's around him, the cap hit that he has, the cap hit isn't a big issue for the Oilers, but it won't stay like that forever.
Yeah, he's gonna want more money in the future.
And then
Oh
McDavid.
God. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I
Anyway,
went off on a tangent with that one. So the next bit topic is, I guess we'll leave the will we make the playoffs for the last question here. But our power play has just looked abysmal. We still are top 10 in the league for our power play, but that being said, over the past few games, it's just been atrocious. Is this a serious concern? Who do you think is responsible, and what changes do you think should be made?
I don't know if it's a serious concern because they're still top 10 in the league somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
When I watch the power play, I get really frustrated. It feels like it's bad all the time, but it's not. I don't know. It's really strange. Like, I'm just looking it up here real quick. Currently, okay, so 16th right now. So right in the middle of the pack, 18.6%.
Just to give you an idea, just a few days ago we were 9th. So it's not like a random out of nowhere like stat when we're saying we were top 10 in the league.
Right. So it has dropped. From my understanding, Jay Woodcroft is responsible for putting the power play together. If there is blame, I guess it goes to him, but I don't know. I think McClellan probably has a say in that as well. And, I don't know what changes I would make. Like, right now, what is it? It's McDavid.
It's the McDavid show. That's it. That's the problem.
I can't even think. Like, I can't think, like, who else is unequivocally up there on the number one power play? McDavid, I would say Eberle's there.
Clefbaum? No, Sekera.
I was gonna say I don't think Clefbaum, but maybe Sekera, and then Larson is probably there too. But Nurse,
I don't know. Hold on. I'll look at the lines and then try to find that out. Power play.
Well, Lucic, McDavid, Nuge, Clefbaum, and Eberle is what it says here.
Oh God.
So it's a weird mix. Eberle, it shows Eberle is up on the point, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because Eberle he's got a good shot, but he doesn't have a hard shot.
Yeah, Eberle. Yeah, but he's typically been always on the point though.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't really understand that. And then the second power play unit is Pouliot, Draisaitl, Maroon, Puljujarvi, and Benning. Benning's been nice, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's I would probably. I like Maroon. I like Maroon with McDavid. I don't think Maroon on his own is a very great player, but I like Maroon's chemistry with McDavid. But other than that, like, I really don't know what changes I would make. In a perfect world, I would just put Hall there. But
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to talk about that. He's doing fantastically for Jersey.
I know.
He
I
is
check in on every couple
absolutely doing
days, and I'm like,
fantastic.
oh, Taylor, when am
Yeah.
I gonna gather the courage to unfollow you on Twitter?
Oh. Anyway, and then I see like fans that are like, "Oh, Taylor Hall wanted this to be his team, so we're happy we traded him." And then I'm just like,
Oh God, I could
"You're
go
not a
off.
fan."
I'm not gonna go on a tangent again. I've gone on enough tangents about
No,
Taylor.
no, that guy's not a fan. That's basically it. He's just an
Yeah,
asshole.
just
Um, okay, so bringing it back here with the power play, I think the basic problem is that the power play is losing the focus in terms of like how a power play should be run. So in my opinion, there's like two key aspects of a power play that is pivotal for it to be playing well. One is that the players need to be constantly moving. Doesn't matter if you have the puck, you don't have the puck, you're moving, you're forcing the defenders to also move, and you're wasting their energy, and they slip up, they make mistakes, and then you get it in the back of the net. The other thing that also needs to happen is that the players need to have an understanding of, is there yes, there's like a focus on like in certain units in terms of which player to go through, but every player is equally responsible for running the power play smoothly.
yeah.
Right now, I think it's a strategy mistake because right now what's happening is that they're trying to do everything through McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins problem, not in his first season, but in his second season. Because in his first season, he put up plenty of power play points. Our power play was clicking. Second season, it's just like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is sort of like, well, what's happening here? We don't know what's happening. And
Mm-hmm.
basically what Treen's understood is that, you don't need to cover Nugent-Hopkins. He doesn't have really a shot to work with. So then you cover up Nugent-Hopkins, he can't find any passes, and you're good. Now it's just like we're doing the same thing again. And the problem there was that the way you could adjust around that is not play only around Nugent Hopkins. Have other players also with the puck and distribute that load. Right now it's the same problem again. It's McDavid has all that responsibility.
It's all McDavid.
It's all in McDavid. And on the second power play unit, Draisaitl not playing great right now. It's
to put it charitably.
putting it charitably, yeah, he needs to move. And that's honestly his biggest problem. And you have like three slow guys. Puljujärvi's not exactly the fastest either. And Benning's in his rookie season.
Yeah.
So I really think that you need to stop with this marriage of players and just change things up. Like Draisaitl should be on the first line. Switch Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl. Maybe this lights a fire under Draisaitl when he has to play with fat players that are playing faster than him, but he needs to, the game needs to stop adjusting to him, and he needs to start adjusting to the game as well.
Yeah.
That's my issue with Draisaitl, but it's going to be a long thing.
Yeah.
And then, equally what I want happening is, for the point, right now everything's running through Eberle on the point. I want everything to run through Clefbaum on the point. In terms of Eberle, switching with Puljujärvi as well. Puljujärvi is a right-handed shot.
I believe so. He plays right wing, so
plays right wing. Okay, so he's a right-handed shot, so put him there. Eberle can Eberle's a weird one. I'm thinking Maroon or Lucic can go off the power play, and Eberle can fill in for one of those roles. And you know what? Bada bing, bada boom. You've distributed the load. Even if the first power play unit is more dependent on McDavid, the second one has equal amounts of threats from every single part, and that's what we need.
Yeah,
honestly.
It is definitely too heavy towards the first unit.
Yeah, the big part as well is that the players need to move. They need to move. It's just as simple as that. When McDavid has a puck, everyone's just stationary, and I'm just screaming at guys like Lucic and Eberle. Eberle moves, and Nugent Hopkins moves every now and then, but Clefbaum is stationary at times. Lucic is just planted in the corner, and you're like, why the heck are you even there? It's just you need movement, and in terms of that, when it's gone on since last season as the big issue, and the players, pretty much almost the same players have succeeded in this role in the past. This one's on the coaching staff for me. Okay, that was a long-ass rant, and hopefully I talked about legitimate things. But do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I hadn't really thought of the unequal distribution of talent amongst the two, but when you brought that up, I did kind of look at it, and it's like, okay, yeah. So the second power play unit, Pouliot, Draisaitl, Maroon. Like Pouliot is ice cold, and he's pissing me off lately. Draisaitl also ice cold. Maroon, I just don't think he's that good of a player on his own. So if his line mates are not having a good time, he's not going to be having a good time. It's uneven. And Puljujärvi is a rookie, shouldn't even be on the team in my opinion. But
controversial, or perhaps not controversial opinion, I think Pitlick should get a look on that second unit.
Yeah, I think Pitlick should get a look on the first line. Like put him up there on McDavid's right wing, move Eberle down with Nuge. And
I don't think that's fair to Eberle. I think Eberle has been one of the more effective players on that first line.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man.
He's not supposed to be a Selke nominee, right? It's just it's one of those weird players where he does the things right, except when he doesn't do the things right, you really notice.
You really notice.
You really notice.
Such a pussy sometimes that it just pisses me off. Pitlick wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. Pitlick is not as talented as Eberle, but he's.
I give him a look with Nuge first. I'll be honest with you. I give him a look with Nuge first.
Well, he's definitely earned a promotion up the lineup, no matter which way you look at it. I mean, God, he's been. It's
an unsustainable shooting percentage, but still, it's a nice shooting percentage regardless.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, take it and run with it. Wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, Pitlick, I would be okay with him getting some power play time. I would say he's earned it.
No, I agree. Yeah. Okay, so last Oilers topic then. Could the Oilers ultimately compete for a playoff spot, or is it wishful thinking?
Well, I think I mentioned this earlier. I think that they'll be right around the wild card spot. I don't think that they're going to compete for a top 3 spot in the Pacific, but I think that they'll get a in there with a wild card spot. I think that LA's
coming back.
Yeah, LA is still San
They're
Jose,
coming back. They've won a bunch in a row right now. They're definitely coming back.
Yeah, Anaheim is still good. Minnesota's been off to a good start too. Minnesota's in the Central though, so. But yeah, like all the California teams, I look at them and I'm still like, I don't see the Oilers being better than any of them, really.
Yeah, Anaheim. Carlisle is just an enigma to me because like he started off with like really bad advanced stats and everyone was laughing at him, but right now his team's advanced stats are ridiculous. They're like top 5 in the league right now.
Yeah, I mean Anaheim still got it. As long as they have Getzlaf and Perry. That team has a chance.
Cal and Lindholm and like some not Lindholm, is it? What's his name again?
No, yeah, it's Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm.
Yeah, Hampus Lindholm. Yeah, there it is. They're in the clear for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're still going to be a good team. And San Jose, as long as they have Thornton and Pavelski and Burns, like, are you fucking kidding me? That's 3 amazing players right there.
And that's actually an indication of like spread out talent, right? Like you look at San Jose and like their top line for their power play is loaded, but like every single player on that power play is an absolute threat on the power play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And flying a little bit, they kind of flew under the radar a little bit for me, but Jamie Ben,
they lost like 3 in a row. Oh, Stars, excuse me.
Yeah, Jamie Benn and the Stars are still like they flew under the radar a little bit for me.
Until last game though, Jamie Benn and Seguin didn't actually score that well. Like the last game against the Oilers is when they finally started clicking again.
Well, Seguin's got 17 points in 15 games.
Okay, never mind.
He's minus.
No, the 2 of them together.
Oh, together?
Together.
I don't know what that stat is, but
Ben wasn't doing well.
Jeez, I'm trying to think because Ben plays with. Who's that second line center? Would it be Spezza?
Spezza, yeah.
Or Spezza's injured though.
Spezza's injured right now. I don't know.
Devin Shore.
I don't know. I don't really care at this point.
He's had a rough start. Ugh.
They all have. Okay, so bringing it forward, backward,
Yeah,
sideways. Hold on. My opinion, if they make the playoffs, which is a big if in my opinion still, it'll be in a wild card position. Hopefully we keep going with the 500 level.
Who is this?
Hold on 1 second. Why is the stream being weird? Okay, sorry about that, folks. Bringing it back. Hopefully there isn't too much lagginess that you're experiencing on your end. Continuing on, Jacob Trouba has signed a new contract with the Jets for 2 years at $3 million per season. What is your opinion of the entire situation as it has unfolded? And to add to this, Starship Coyote has commented that it's a race. People seem to be jumping on Trouba for not signing this deal a couple months ago. They're entirely missing the point. The only leverage he had to be traded was to not play, so he waited and blinked when he realized he'd rather play hockey, even if that meant being buried on the bottom pairing. He signed a bridge deal so he can still be moved, and Chevy doesn't have to lock him up in that kind of deal where he wouldn't need to be moved. Both sides are saying all the right things, but I'd be surprised if he still doesn't want to move. Bad luck for him, as that his GM is one of the most hesitant to make deals in the entire league, absolutely true, and really values Trouba as a player, as he should. It'll be interesting to see where this one goes. I'd be surprised if Trouba is still a Jet by the time his contract is done. So, yeah. James, I'll let you
I agree with most of that. The Trouba situation actually reminds me a little bit of Kyle Turris with his situation.
That was really hostile, though.
The Phoenix Coyotes, as they were then called at that point in time, before he got traded to Ottawa. So that was super hostile. Like, he wanted out, and he wanted out right now. I don't think it's quite that bad with Trouba. I like what Kevin Cheveldayoff did. I mean, it's like, I wish that this is what Edmonton management did when Chris Pronger asked for a trade. Like, we have you under contract, or we have the rights, we have all the leverage. This is how it's going to go.
That was a that wasn't even a UFA. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, that still hurts a decade on. But
I think
I like. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that too. Like, what we're seeing right now is like a combination of like a bunch of different learning experiences. Where like that was a learning experience where every team in the league went, okay, if it's a star player and he's demanding a trade, or like any player's demanding a trade and you have leverage on him, use it. Don't wait, just use it, regardless of how much leverage or pressure that person's putting forward.
Mm-hmm. I think that Trouba expected to be traded.
Yeah.
I think he probably expected to win that. And like Starship Coyote mentioned, I would be really surprised if he's still a Jet by the end of that contract, number one, because it's short term and it's a manageable cap hit. So whoever he gets traded to, I mean, where's Trouba from? I know he's American.
Is he American? I thought he was Canadian. He's Canadian.
No, he's American.
He's American? Oh my god. That makes so much sense. Rochester, Michigan.
Rochester, New York?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah,
okay.
There's a Rochester, Michigan, apparently.
Interesting.
He's younger than me. Wow, that I needed that.
That hits close to home, hey?
Oh yeah.
That just
he's February 26th, 94. I'm February 27th, 92.
There you go. Yeah, I would be super surprised if he's still a Jet by the end of it. Maybe, being from Michigan, trade him off to the Red Wings, and I don't know who you would get back from the Red Wings for him, because they don't really have a whole lot in their system right now. The Red Wings they're a team in rebuilding mode, and I'm realizing it's a little bit too late after drafting Peter Mrazek in my hockey fantasy league.
Mrazek's not having a great season, but Jimmy Howard definitely is.
Ugh, jeez.
Jimmy Howard's having a spectacular season. Okay, so to add to this, it's pretty much all the same points. I'm of the opinion that yes, an RFA player doesn't have a lot of rights, but I'm of the opinion that an RFA player should have more rights. I think with the way the league is going right now, um, if there's money to be spent, it will be spent. And if there's money to be saved, it will be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, that's being saved on the young players that are actually like scoring and bringing up scoring in the league, and like making the league really exciting to watch and being fast and quick and all this kind of stuff. And you have the old players like Lucic who have like these monster contracts and aren't really contributing that well.
NHL contracts are weird like that. Like when you're
It's not the
younger
only
and
one, yeah.
you have the most production, you're underpaid. Like
Yeah. And honestly, the big part about that is simply put, it just comes down to the way that the contracts are structured.
mm-hmm.
Who has power in the negotiation? It's not the player. It's the teams, the managers
Mm-hmm.
for RFA players.
Yeah.
In terms of UFAs, yeah, there's no chance. But like you look at a guy like Goudreau, right? He played what? Because he didn't play a fourth professional year in the league, he couldn't even be offer sheeted.
Yeah.
Right? So it was zero power on his part at all. He had to go for the shitty contract. And that was an absolutely horrible contract.
Yeah. What is he? 6.5?
Yeah, he should be a guy that's being paid like 8.
Yeah. He is underpaid.
Well, right now he's not really showing it, but that's a story for another day. But he had 2 consecutive back-to-back seasons where he was really showing it.
He was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think it is an issue that is going to definitely brought up and will likely be a key point of contention for the next lockout. In terms of will he be around, will he not be around, I'm not sure. Hopefully, maybe he is, just because I just want to see how good a Trouba will be for the Jets, and then I just want good things for the Jets, unless they can win the trade really badly. And the other part I guess I wanted to add to with what Starship Coyote said, in other news, there are some rumblings around Hamilton. He would be a nice piece for the Oilers, and Shia wanted him before nearly effed us over. I'd love to see him on the Oilers, but I have no idea what it would take. Your
Dougie
thoughts?
Hamilton?
Yeah, Dougie Hamilton's on. There's some rumors floating around.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Traded again? Where? Like, why?
I don't know why. It seems really dumb in my opinion.
Why?
I'm guessing that they're going for help right now.
But Dougie Hamilton is that help. I don't get it. Dougie Hamilton's like he's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't paid it much attention to him this year. -9 already. Damn.
Plus minus doesn't mean anything.
I know.
That entire team is shit right now, so you can't really blame him for being -9.
Coyotes and Penguins kicking the tires on Dougie Hamilton. What the hell?
Yep.
This is the first I'm hearing of this, man. My mind is blown. Why is he getting traded again?
No, it's after was it Penguins successfully moved Malkin to Chicago. They're gonna have more cap space available, and then they're gonna be able to. I'm fucking with you. First goals isn't okay. Sorry. I'm trying to look if there's more about it, but it's just rumblings from the sound of it.
God, I don't know. I probably would not be interested in him. I mean, hasn't quite developed into the number 1 guy or even the number 2 guy that he was projected to be when he was drafted. He's still pretty young, but he's like 20. What is he? 23 now?
Yeah, he's still pretty young.
Yeah, he's still pretty young. 23-year-old Dougie Hamilton. Yeah, so he's still 23, but I mean,
there's another 3 more years before you're supposed to hit his theoretical peak.
Another 2 or 3 years, you're kind of gonna like what you see is what you get, and he's not a number 1 or a number 2, and I believe his cap hit is like 6.5, so pretty high. Too rich for my blood, to be honest with you. And if he's getting traded twice this early in his career, like there's got to be something else wrong with him. Like I don't know if his teammates just don't like him. I don't buy it that it's just a hockey-related trade.
I think it's a hockey-related trade right now. Calgary, it's probably one of those things, you know. This is why, like, whenever I hear rumors like this, I'm sort of like rolling my eyes a little bit, because it's probably like, was it Pittsburgh saw an opportunity where like the team's not doing well. They called them up. They went, "Hey, is Hamilton available?" And then GM said no, and that was it.
Mm,
Right?
maybe.
And then that gets turned into a thing because, you know, even if they had like a 1 minute, 30-second long conversation versus a 5 minute long or 10-minute long conversation, the rumor's still going to come out to be the same. And people are just going to assume that it's a 20-minute, right? Or
Well, I mean,
plus.
NHL GMs don't say shit when it comes to trades either. Like
They don't.
they always play their cards so close to the chest. So
Yeah, but yeah, after that, like GMs that haven't in the past have been completely burned for it.
no, that's true.
Yeah, it's history dictating the future and the present.
Mhm.
Um, in my opinion, I definitely think the Oilers should try to make a move for him. I'm not sure what it's going to take, and that's my concern. Is ultimately they're going to be asking for something like a Nurse, and with how much Nurse has been improved from last season to this season, I'm not really willing to trade Nurse anymore. I'm gonna double back on my opinion of Nurse that I made last season, and say like, yeah, he's definitely coming making his way into the league. I don't know if he can still be that number one that a lot of fans have projected him to be, but I definitely see him being a number two, like a really good number two. Um, in terms of Dougie Hamilton, I still think that he's just having a bad start to the season. Like last season, he had a bad start to the season, but if you look at it, I think it was the last like 43 or so games of the season, he had like 40 points. So he was absolutely really good. Or 30 points, something around that. Basically, end of the season around, what's it,
Yeah,
40 points or so. Um,
for for the Flames last year, or
yeah, for the Flames last year, how much
yeah,
was it?
he got 43 points last year.
43 points, yeah.
That's like first line numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think it's just the coaching staff right now is putting the wrong focus. They're breaking up all the wrong like they're breaking up too many chemistries that were already established. Um, and right now, in terms of, you know, selling high, buying low, that kind of stuff, this is a great opportunity for the Oilers to potentially buy low. Because he didn't stop being a good player. He's just having a bad recent string of games, in my opinion.
Fair enough. No, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
A little bit of an off tangent there. John Scott has officially retired. I don't think there's anything really to talk about there unless you have something to talk about.
Not really. I
Not
liked
really.
how he kind of stuck to the ownership of the NHL last year, and public opinion was so against Gary Bettman and being such a douchebag over what's really a
Demanding
glorified
a
exhibition game anyway. I mean,
trade.
I like that. I'll always thank John Scott for that. But
Mm-hmm.
really, it's a footnote. I mean, he was never a noteworthy NHL player. So
Exactly.
uh,
In my opinion, he's one of those players that, like, his season got extended a little bit further because of what happened there. But ultimately, you know, he's one of those players where, like, if you're gonna skate a guy like 3 minutes a night, then what's the point of skating that guy at all?
yeah. Didn't he get a car for being the MVP of the All Star game?
He did, and he was one of those players that really could have used that card too.
There you go. So he got a car, and he'll get 5 years or whatever out of that. So
One thing that I really think that came out in that is there used to be this misconception that, you know, you're a face puncher in the league, you're not that intelligent.
yeah,
No, John Scott, like, but based on the way that he wrote, that he presented himself, in his interviews, in his demeanor when it got focused during that time, it was painstakingly obvious for the league and for people that had that kind of opinion that this is not like a dumb guy. This is a guy that is very knowledgeable and knows what he's doing.
yeah. He went to Michigan Tech, I think, for college hockey, and he got a degree in
Engineering.
and
Engineering. Yeah, I think it's mechanical.
Yeah, so pretty impressive, if I do say so myself.
So next topic then is right now, I guess the leader in the Calder race is Patrik Laine. Patrik Laine is currently leading the league in goals with 11. That is 2 hat-tricks in 14 games. Do you believe the Leafs made the right decision in picking Matthews at first overall? I don't really think that's a controversial question at all. And also, the Jets are that one line for the Jets of Ehlers, Scheifele, and Laine is really tearing it up. And what are your thoughts? So just to give you an idea, Scheifele is leading the league in points at 20. He's second is McDavid. And he's also second in the league for goals with 10. And Laine is first with 10.
It's pretty impressive. That's super impressive.
And Ehlers just got put into that line, so it's not a surprise that he's not on there.
Yeah, I think that the Leafs still made the right decision taking Matthews. I mean, at the time, we all knew what their differences were. Laine was the sniper. We all knew that. Matthews is supposed to be the more well-rounded player, maybe a bit more of a playmaker and a two-way player. We all knew that. So it's kind of like, well, just wait for Matthews to round into form. You know, he might not be as offensively gifted right away, but
he still put up 4 goals in that one game.
Yeah,
so.
He's still the guy that you want to build your team around. You know, it's like Crosby and Ovechkin next generation.
You
can't go wrong with either, but I think most people, if you held a gun to their head, they would choose Crosby.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally agreeing with that. This actually, I don't even think is it needs much to be talked about here. Hold on, I'm pulling up. I'm trying to pull up rookie scoring really quickly here. And trying to see where Matthews. Yeah, okay. Laine has 16 points, 11 goals in 16 games played. Matthews has played 15 games and has 12 points. Here's the thing, though, with the Matthews. Matthews is that low not because, he's playing badly, but because his line, or his best line mates, I guess, are also 2 other rookies. Second in the league right now, all tied, is Matthews, Marner, Nylander with 12 points in 15 games. Also in the discussion here, and I don't know if this is going to last for very long or not, but it's definitely an interesting story, is Zach Werenski for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who has 12 points also in less games, 13 games. So his points per game is second in the league right now for rookies.
10-0 game, though.
10-0 game, he only had 2 assists, but he constantly. I was of that opinion where all their points are coming in one time frame, but that's guys like Wenberg, whose points are all coming in one game. Werenski, it's really freaking spread out. It's really spread out.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent here. In terms of Laine, I mean it's the theme of the podcast, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. At the beginning of the season, you were going it's all Matthews. It's a Matthews show. Now we're going, it's all Laine. It's a Laine show. And next thing you know, Puljujarvi could have put up back-to-back hat tricks, and you're like, it's the Puljujarvi show. And next thing you know, Werenski could have put up a bunch of points, and it's a Werenski show. And it'll keep going back and forth and back and forth. But one thing I think is absolutely for certain: this is a fun season.
Oh yeah,
this is absolutely a fun season.
It absolutely is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You definitely know it's a fun season when guys you know what? Actually, I would say the hottest line in the league right now, and I'm just noticing this right now, Patrick Kane, Anisimov, and Panarin, who are respectively second, and third in the league in scoring. 17 points, 16 points. Anyway, that's an off tangent from me, Lambert, looking at stats here. I guess we're almost at the end here, unless you want to add anything about that. But last topic, because we're in such a jovial mood today. 10-0 win by Columbus over Montreal. Your opinion?
Can I only give 2 thumbs up?
No,
I hate Montreal. I wish it was 20-0.
Yeah.
I wish it was 30-0. I wish it was 50-0. Man, I wish that happened every game that Montreal played.
Except, don't
hate
happen against Carey Price, please. I have him on my fantasy roster.
Yeah, I was against Montoya, like the one game that he played. Oh, God. And they left him in there for all 10 goals.
Yep. No, because it was Carey Price rest day. It was absolutely the right call. That being said, the team absolutely quit on Montoya. That was the big problem there.
Yeah.
They just took penalty after penalty. They took
I was watching. I didn't see the game live, but I was watching the highlights and extended highlights and stuff after, and it's like, man, they were bad. They were awful that game. Shea Weber was somehow still even for his plus minus, but
he was out on the ice for 4 power play goals against.
4 power play goals. Okay. Man.
Yeah, of course he's going to be even because like he was out on the goal for 4 power play goals against. So
10-0, man. That was great. Yeah.
I loved it. The crowd chanted, "We won 10." They got their 10. You know, everyone left happy.
Yeah.
Including Carey Price because he's like, "Oh God, I wasn't out there."
Yeah, like let's just get out of here. On to the next one. That's all you can do as a team too. I mean, it's one game. You missed out on 2 points. You didn't miss out on 10 points. So just turn the page and that's it. So.
Yep. That's like I think it was Yost or Berkshire who said this. It's like, you know, I was expecting the aggression. I didn't expect it all to come in the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think that throughout all of that, the only thing that's solidified is that Carey Price is a really good goaltender.
A really good goaltender, yeah.
Really good goaltender.
Playing for all 82 games. Like, Montoya doesn't even need to be there.
One thing I do want to point out, though, is that, we can make that argument, but, you know, Montoya still had a really good start to the season.
He did, yeah.
He did have a really good start to the season. So, yeah, he, too, you know, based upon that, maybe Carey Price, too, will have one of those, like, games. Perhaps when they play the Oilers, because Carey Price's kryptonite seems to be the Oilers.
Which is very weird. Yeah.
Including so far as going, like, getting concussed by his own player last time they played the Oilers. It was against the Oilers that he got injured last season.
Year after that. God, I didn't want that, but I did want them to lose.
Yeah, no, I didn't want that either. No, honestly, that one was on the staff. They shouldn't have played him the next game. They played him the next game, and obviously enough he got injured. Really long term that time, so
bad.
That's on the staff, in my opinion. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to the conclusion of our little podcast here. Hopefully everyone had fun with just the two of us. Do you have any? Does comment section or anyone else have anything to add that they want us to talk about at all?
Follow us on Twitter, like the page on YouTube. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a bit of a slow couple of weeks there for Oilers directly related news.
Yeah.
So
and likely our next podcast will be our quarter season review, which will be one of our longer podcasts. Because we will have crossed the 22-game threshold, and then we can form really stronger opinions about certain players at that time.
Yeah, hopefully
and we're going to be rating
where people are.
Yeah, we're going to be rating everyone. We usually do this. We rate everyone. We rate the coaching staff. We rate the players. We rate the power play, the penalty kill, which I think is really good, by the way. Goaltending, everything, and it's going to be fun.
All right, cool.
All right, so this has been Arena Take 5, otherwise known as Roan, and with me today was...
James, Paul-McCartney- on Reddit.
All right. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Ha ha!